What's up, you guys? This is Queen Toss Crime. I'm back again with another video. Shout out to my old and new subscribers, my members, and my moderators. This video, we are going to be discussing the Summer Wills case. There's going to be a couple of videos dropping, breaking down Dudley, Andy, because that has came up in this case. But this particular video, we're going to talk about Don saying that he lost his job. He lost his job due to these people coming up to his job. Okay? So the police had to show up. Okay? Y'all, this is just nonsense. They done turned this baby's case into a circus, a shit show. Literally a circus. First off, Don works on different houses. So my first question would be, how did they find the house that Don was working on? He works on different houses a week. Excuse me. So how did these people, and I don't know who this is, it could be MGL, Betty, whoever. It's irrelevant who this is. But this is a protester that showed up at his job, allegedly, and got Don fired, allegedly. I don't know how true that is, because I don't believe things that come out of Don and Candace's mouth unless somebody else verifies it, such as law enforcement. Now, if his boss comes out and say, yes, I fired Don, then okay, I will believe it. But as of right now, it's 50-50, because Don and Candace has both came out this past 7 months and has lied, multiple stories, acted a fool, this and the third. So I can't bank on what Don said until his boss or law enforcement come out and say, yes, Don lost his job. Because I know what we're dealing with here when it comes to Don Wills. We all know what we're dealing with when it comes to Don Wills. But back to this lady, how did she find out which house Don was working on? That's my first question. Because he works on different homes. Correct? So if he works on different homes and they change homes, go to different jobs, different houses, do work, how did they find out which house he was at? And what happened to the point where they had to call law enforcement? What happened to the point where you had to call law enforcement? Now, allegedly, Candace was there. Candace, why are you at Don's job? You can't find nothing better else to do? You have to be sitting up there under Don. You can't go home and clean and work on things at your house and get rid of stuff. It's a lot of other things you could be doing. Let that man be at work. He needs to work. We've been yelling for him to get back to work. Stop the drinking and the drugging and the messing and the doping. This is what we wanted, right? We wanted them to get back, Don to get back to work, Candace to be more constructive and act like they want their children back. Now, we may know that it's a big chance they won't get them back because Summer is still missing and they're still suspects. A lot of people are still suspects in this case. So, me personally, I do not see the kids ever going back to the Wells house. Neither do I feel like they should, because they have been living this lifestyle their whole entire life. And some people can't change. Okay? Don is what I call a functional addict. He can go to work, and when he get off, he can get high and drunk. Then he can go to work the next day. There are people that are functional addicts. But we want Don to go to work. We want him to get the help just for a human being, just for himself. The kids most likely not coming back, but they need to get themselves together for them, because this has gone too far. Don's at work and a protester show up. And he says they got him fired. My question is, what did the protester do? What was she out there doing to the point that the police had to be called? How did you find out where Don was working that day? Because his jobs change daily. The addresses to where he's going to change daily. So how did you find out where he was? I find that very strange. Did you follow them leaving the home? Did you follow Don to work at that specific house? How did you know where the specific house he was working on that day? That is a very important question to me. Because if you followed him from his house, that's sick. That's very sick and disturbing. If you followed him from his house to the job where he's working. Now, do I see anything wrong with you protesting on the street away from his house? No, because people do it all the time. But going to a place of employment or where he's working, I have a problem with that. Because that's how he make his bread and butter. Regardless of the type of person he is and the life he chooses, that's how he make his money. You don't bother people at their jobs. You don't call and try to get them fired. You don't do stuff like that. I just did a live about someone that is going to take action because I was in my uniform. I was in my uniform. So I got an email about that. And I said what I said about that. Do what you got to do, boo-boo. But when it comes to a point where people are trying to intervene in your real job, the way you make your money, your bread and butter, how you take care of your house, your bills, your family, I have a problem with that. So I have a problem with this. I have a problem with this woman going to his job where he works to make his money, causing confusion and being confrontational. That's a whole problem. You leave that in the street. You don't come to someone's place of employment where they're working with that nonsense. You like they said, the public street where the house said, cool, you can yell to them to cows come home. But when you come to his home, to his job, that's a whole nother ball game. You stepping into someone else's territory because he works for someone else. So now you're stepping into someone else's shoes. He said you caused him to lose his job. If that is true, because we can't believe what Don Will says is fact, that's messed up. Are you going to take care of his bills? Lady in the yellow? Are you going to pay his car note? His bills at 110? Are you going to buy the drugs? I don't think so. So if he did lose his job, I have a problem with that. Because that's how he makes his money. That's how he makes his money. And another thing I want to point out is, I've been on this case since the beginning. These people just became boots on the ground. There has been some silent boots on the ground that don't act a fool, and we don't do all this. You understand? I've been boots on the ground since June 15th, since that baby been missing. And I put up some things that I do, like the places I've went, that I visit multiple times. Every time I go, I don't put a video up. But I've shown in the past 7 months, you can date back, places I've been, things I've looked at that I want to show you guys so you can see for yourself. And questions. I had a lot of questions with Candace in summer that day, even from the beginning. The story never made sense to me, and that's how I knew it was a lie. But we don't act like this. Not once has it ever occurred to Queen to go to this man's house and yell. If these two individuals, including Grandis, 3, did something to Summer Wells, do you think you standing out on the street yelling, they're going to tell you where she is? No. I never thought for once contacting them, trying to befriend them, will ever make them tell anyone where Summer is. I don't think they ever will. We will have to find a body. And then I believe someone will break. But I never thought for once that protesting will make them tell us what Summer is. I never thought trying to befriend them will get answers about Summer. And these past 7 months to show y'all that doing all of these things, you have gotten no closer to where Summer is. They are never going to tell you where that baby is if they did it. They're never going to tell you. Law enforcement is going to have to find that child. And then we will get somewhere in this case. Donna's never going to tell you. Candace never going to tell you. Not even on their worst high or drunk day, they're never going to tell you where Summer is. Befriending them, they're never going to tell you. Protesting, they're never going to tell you. They're never going to tell you. So never, not once in my mind, has it crossed to me to go to their home. Not once, and I boots on the ground. So I think it's kind of funny. Out of 7 months, we got these new boots on the ground. And they're acting like this, very confrontational. See, with these type of people, being confrontational does not work with them. I don't know. They must have been watching the Wells from the beginning. Because being confrontational with them is not going to get answers. It's just going to make the situation worse. It's only made this case worse. This has done nothing for Summer. This has done nothing for the case, but make it worse and involve more people and take up law enforcement time when they could be out there searching for Summer. They're here dealing with a domestic dispute. Do you see how that takes away from Summer? Police being called out to Don's job, where this shouldn't even have occurred. Don on the news, we know he's a narcissist, saying he's gonna press charges, yada yada yada. All of this takes up law enforcement time where they could be using that time for somewhere else. Stay away from these people. I don't know why people want to befriend these people. I don't know why people want to protest after 7 months. If these people hurt Summer and got rid of her, they're never going to tell a civilian. They hadn't even told law enforcement. They're never going to tell you, no matter what you do. Because some people just don't care. They have no empathy. They have no sympathy. They have no feelings. They have gone on with their life, doing them. They don't care. You can't make someone care that does not care. Every chance Don gets, he's going to get in the spotlight. You caused him to be in the spotlight. You caused him to be the victim. He loves to play victim. This caused him to be a victim. So if he did lose his job, that's wrong on this protester. You had no business at his job, because that's something that he needs to get himself together if one day in the future he really wants his children back. He has to take care of his family. And I don't care for Don and Candace, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And I'm going to speak the real over here. Stay away from this man's job. Did that get you any closer to Summer? No, it didn't. It took law enforcement's time that they could have been looking for that baby. These people will never tell you. They don't care. Law enforcement's going to have to find that baby. Then you got Candace. I saw a photo of her. Don said she was crying and scared. Candace, stop it. I've heard you when you're intoxicated. You're very a verbal aggressive person, as well as Don. You're not scared. Y'all are not the victims here. This situation, yes, I will give you that because they was in the wrong. But you're not scared. Stop. And I've never seen you cry all these 7 months. Except for when you was interrogated on Dr. Phil a month ago. But you're not scared. Stop the cap. Now you're giving them something to play into. Now you're making them victims. And they're going to take every opportunity to be victims. Candace is going to play her part. She's good at acting. You see what she did to Don's sister. She's great at acting. So now she's telling the police she's scared. Y'all making the lies that they told true by doing this. Candace ain't even cried about her own kids, but she cried about protesters yelling down the street. And she can hear them in the house, so you're crying and scared. But you never cried for Summer. You never cried for your boys. You got Don on the news talking about he lost his job. You know Don loves the news. You know he loves video, footage, media. You're giving them this. For what? for clicks, views? What is this? Real boots on the ground don't go to people's jobs and try to get them fired. When at the end of the day, we want Don to get his shit together. We want him to go to work, get off the drugs, get his life together. Do they deserve the kids? No. But they need to get their shit together. And if he lost his job, that's messed up. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Stay away from this man's job. If you're going to really protest and do it right, do it on the public street and abide by the guidelines that you're supposed to. But going and following this man to the house he's working on, you out of line. Whoever you are, you out of line. This your girl, Queen Toss Crime, and this is my take on the protesters going to Don Will's job. And allegedly got him fired. Don't know how true that is. And that's my take on it. I'll be back with another video. Peace.